Thank you for tuning into Bethel BHGTV. Like, share, and subscribe. Now our host, Pastor Johnson.
All right, brothers and sisters, we are here tonight. We're not going to be before you long, but we're going to get to this lesson. Tonight we're only doing a highlight of lesson number 2, dealing with slavery. If you have not watched lesson number 2, remember lesson number 1 was color, lesson number 2 was slavery. The link to that lesson is in the description of this. Now, as we do, we're going to get you out of here so you can get to the Bomb of Gilead radio show coming up at 8:30. So we're not going to waste any time with this. We're going to get right to the lesson. But we do want to say to those over in the chat room, shout out to all of you all. We're going to hit the first ones that came in here. Noel Berry, thank you for coming in first in our chat room. Ivan McMichael, first from our Facebook side. Yes, we are streaming live, Facebook, YouTube, Facebook page. Shout out to Road King. How you doing, my brother? Glad for you to be here. The rest of you all we get later during the show. Let's get right into this, brothers and sisters, as we deal with this lesson tonight. I want to come up with our Bible reading. You know how we do it. We got to have our scripture coming in tonight. And we're going to get right over there and get to the scripture so you all can just jump on in with us, okay? So let's do that right now. We're going to go to our Bible, and we're going to go right to Psalms 111, verse 10. Psalm 111, verse 10. And it says, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments. His praise endureth forever. So thank you all for just continuing to come in. All of you all over there in my chat room. God bless you all. Thank you for coming in tonight. Let's get started with this lesson, brothers and sisters, okay? This lesson is important. It's a very important lesson because it's not a lesson, it's just a highlight. But the lesson itself, taught by Pastor Boy, I thought it was a very awesome lesson. And it talked about slavery. But you cannot talk about slavery without explaining what happened to Israel. Israel was the nation whom God dealt with. No other nation had he dealt with like he did Israel. We also learned in that lesson that there was a covenant agreement that Israel entered into coming out of Egypt 400 plus years of bondage, Moses was sent by the Lord to deliver them. We'll go into a subject later on as to how all of that happened, but tonight we're not talking about that. Just go back and look at color, look at slavery. If you watch those lessons, this highlight tonight will be very important to you. We talked about Israel going in and out of slavery because of their disobedience and breaking the covenant agreement that they entered into. And Israel's job was to be a light to the other nations. But Israel failed. And as a result, Deuteronomy 28 chapter talks about the curses that will befall Israel all the way until the Lord comes. Brothers and sisters, Jesus will gather us one by one from the nations where we have been scattered. That's Bible. Lesson at a different time. But let's talk about some of these curses. Last night we talked about prison statistics and health statistics. We brought that up last night. And I thought it was very good to bring those things out because they were very important in highlighting those things. Because when you look at what happened to Israel and what went on, Israel went in and out of slavery, brothers and sisters. And I'm sure it wasn't a good part for Israel to go in and out of. But as a result of going in and out of slavery, and even today being dispersed all over the world, but we gave you some statistics just coming out of the United States, how we're only 13.4% of the population, and compared to white America, which is 60% of the population, we look at the disproportionate numbers that affect us when it comes to being incarcerated, and the disproportionate statistical data when it comes to health-related issues. So there's no doubt, brothers and sisters, there is something going on as the prophets had stated. So tonight, what is it that I can possibly cover? Well, let's look at disparities in lending practices. That's why I have that up right there. Because particularly affecting Black America and white American populations, this evidence has been well documented. And it should be a significant concern that is worthy of discussions, because I'm showing you that these curses are continuing. Because the scripture says that if we did what the Lord said do, we would be a lender and not a borrower. Y'all remember Pastor Bowie brought that out in the lesson number 2. Again, that link is in the description on this channel. Now, also, brothers and sisters, it was shown that not only would we be a lender and not a borrower, but if we broke the covenant agreement, which we did, our forefathers did, we would become a borrower and not a lender. But let me just try to tell you, this has had according to the prophets, has put us in a bad situation, especially in the United States, but this is conducive to every country in the 4 corners of this world that we have been scattered into. And this requires, like I said, a much discussion about the economic equality and fairness in the United States that has disproportionately affected us, because these disparities manifest in various aspects of lending, including mortgages, small business loans, personal loans. All of these are influenced by a range of factors that has an adverse impact on Black America, including systemic biases, credit scoring practices, historical inequities, that we are dealing with, because things are not equal, brothers and sisters. They're not equal. But we don't, the Lord told us this was going to happen. He told us this would happen. And here are some of the notable disparities that you all can be a witness to. Let's take a look at the mortgage lending practice. Higher rejection. I just saw where one of the credit unions, one of the military credit unions, was being sued by the government for their rejection on a higher rate on Black Americans, who were a small percentage of those credit union members who applied for mortgages. It was something like maybe 10, 11% of the members who had accounts were Black Americans. The rest were white Americans and other. And when it came to rejecting mortgages, 60+% were against those African Americans or Black Americans. So these are some of the things that are out there. They're real. So I'm going to share some of them dealing with just mortgages, because there's a higher rejection rate for Black America versus white America. Again, we're only 13.4% of the population. Black American applicants are more likely to be denied mortgages than white applicants. This is a fact. This disparity persists even after controlling for income, loan amount, and other financial factors. Because when it comes to getting these loans, you have to look at what impacts us. And there's a lot. So we're more likely to be denied these mortgages compared to white applicants. And again, this disparity persists even after, if you can control income, the loan amount, other financial factors, it doesn't matter. The denial rates contribute to lower homeowner loans among Black Americans, which impacts wealth. It impacts our economic stability, because there's a benefit to owning a home. And when we do get the opportunity, we are impacted with higher interest rates and less favorable terms. Even when Black American applicants are approved for mortgages, they often face higher interest rates, and those terms, those long terms compared to white applicants, even who have similar financial profiles. Both people, a Black American applicant and a white American applicant, can have the same income, same credit score, but the interest rate has been proven to be higher for the Black American applicant, and the term loans much more stringent. And this can lead to higher monthly payments, even more financial strain over the life of the loan. It just keeps going. That's just one. Let's look at small business loans, because that has an adverse impact as well. Because number one, access to credit for Black American entrepreneurs, it is difficult. Black American business owners face significant challenges, brothers and sisters, in accessing small business loans. They are more likely to be denied credit, and when they do receive the loans, the amounts are often lower than what was originally requested. I had that experience when I was doing some consulting work for a restaurant owner, Black-owned business up in the West Palm Beach area. And brothers and sisters, even to get a grant, a city grant, it was difficult, the amount of paperwork that we had to come up, the amount of personal information, or how much data that they were requiring. It was more stringent than I've ever experienced. And these disparities limit the ability of Black American-owned businesses to expand and to thrive, because everybody could use a small business loan. And the higher interest rates for Black American-owned businesses, similar to mortgage lending, similar, just the same way, Black American entrepreneurs often face higher interest rates on business loans compared to our white American counterparts. And this can affect profitability, your profit, and your growth potential for your business. So when things is affecting your profit and things are affecting your growth, when you have more profit, you might be able to open up a second business. You might be able to open up a third one. But when your profit margin is a lot lower because of the terms of the loan and the higher interest rates, it makes things difficult. Personal loans and credit. Personal loans and credit. If you notice, I have up here just dealing with credit scoring. The average credit score by race in America, 13% is African American, Black American, and 60% white America. Look at the average credit scores. 677. Hispanic, 701. White, 734. Other, Asian, 745. Other, 732. That's a fact. This is things that impact us. Credit scoring disparities. And the use of traditional credit scoring models can disproportionately affect Black American individuals who may have lower credit scores due to historical financial exclusion and other factors. Because if you can't get a loan, it affects everything else you do. It affects your credit score. You can't get a credit card. And if you do get approved, you got a higher interest rate compared to our counterpart. Although the application income for both are the same, length of time on the job is the same factors, but on Black Americans, that credit card score or that credit card rate is going to be higher. And what does that cause? Lower credit scores, which can lead to higher interest rates or just outright denial for personal loans and for credit products. Let's talk about predatory lending practices. Predatory. I mean, this is where they come at you. African American communities are more frequently targeted by predatory lenders offering these payday loans. Y'all see the commercial, payday loans, car title loans, or other high-cost financial products. Because when you can't get a regular loan, that's why you see these little payday, what do you call them, loan businesses pop up right up in our community. You see them all over. There's several names for them. But they'll pop up in our community just like more liquor stores and more pawn shops. These little lending stores are popping up. That's predatory lending, brothers and sisters. And these products can trap individuals in cycles of debt due to exorbitant interest rates, high interest rates. It don't get any better. And The efforts to address these lending disparities, very minimal. Addressing these lending disparities requires, let me just say this, scientifically, they have an approach to address it. But brothers and sisters, I'm going to take it right back to the scriptures. The Lord said it was going to happen. And if my people who are called by my name would humble themselves and pray, seek his face, turn from their wicked ways, the Lord will hear us. We can get some reprieve in these situations, brothers and sisters, especially as individuals. We're not be able to control everything that we do because we're not a nation, but we have been scattered, and we can do things that in fact affect us individually. Okay, so there's all kinds of remedies that people have come up with. There's nonprofits that are not run by Black America, but they run by white America that target how to fix the issue. They making money trying to come up with a solution to fix these disproportionate practices. So they look at trying to come up with policy reform, community engagement, and things like, let's come up with some innovative terms in financial services. Let's have some regulatory oversight and enforcement. Let me tell you, strengthening oversight of lending practices and enforcement, these anti-discriminating laws, it's a crucial step in addressing these disparities. But again, I say, let's just turn back to the Lord. And some of those things that you can address includes ensuring that lenders comply with Fair Housing Act and the Equal Credit Opportunity Act. I just looked at the news and saw up in New York how they arrested 70 people, over 70, dealing with the housing projects. Because the supers and the assistant supers, you had to pay them if you wanted to be able to work or get a contract. Whether you was a window repair guy, whether you was a HVAC person, you had to pay to play. And they arrested over 70 up in New York. There's a lot of alternative credit scoring models. It's all out there, brothers and sisters. But at the end of the day, it comes back to say we need to return back to the Lord so he can return back to us. This is our lesson tonight, our overview. Go check out Balm of Gilead radio show. They're going to be coming on or might have come on right now. We want to say hello to them over there. I believe they just came on. Let me go over here and check it out. But I hope that you've got something from this lesson, to this overview tonight, of lesson number 3. Let me see if Balm of Gilead radio show is on yet. They're not on yet. They should be coming on shortly. Shortly, they should be coming on. Let me see if they're on yet. They're not on yet, but they'll be coming on shortly, all right? So just want to put that out to you. I'm going to get out of the way because they'll be coming on in a few minutes. If you got any comments on this lesson, go ahead and put it in there. I'd like to look at some of them. How you doing, Sister Cleo, Brother Mark P., all of you all, Sister D, good to see you. All of you all. So thank you for tuning in tonight. Just wanted to share the curses, however you want to look at them: health, prison, and lending. So Saturday, after this Sabbath, the new lesson, we'll be back next week to provide commentary on that. All of that being said and done, thank you for tuning in tonight. This is Brother Johnson, IOG Fort Lauderdale class, the Bethel class, IOG Fort Lauderdale. Thank you for tuning in. God bless you, and you have a wonderful night.